Hello and welcome to yet another edition of Musings and Monologues, the controversial and thought provoking platform for the initiated and informed English language speaking audience. All of you must be wondering why I'm wearing dark glasses today. Let me reassure you, ladies and gentlemen, it is nothing more than a humble homage that I seek to pay to the master of visual poetry, the eminent filmmaker Wong Kar-wai. Why chooses never to come in public, whether it be at film festival circuits or on television shows, without his dark glasses, evading eye contact. I do this as an indulgence today. Poetry in the English language in India is officially dead. We no longer dance to the cadences of music provided by the likes of Nizam Ezekiel, Gav Patel, and Pritish Nandi. Yet, not so long back, when Illustrated Weekly of India was the largest selling English magazine in the country, it had a page specially reserved for poetry by young people, people who wanted to give vent to their expression with their images and metaphors. It was edited by eminent literateurs like Kamala Das, who chose to make it public and appeal to a larger average Indian English speaking public, which is no longer interested in verse anymore. Writing a dirge on the death of his mentor, the legendary W.B. Yeats, the poet Auden had lamented, "Poetry makes nothing happen." Unfortunately, his ironic advice was taken seriously, and people gradually started shunning poetry as a marginal exercise. At best, it was published by the poets themselves and read out to a motley group of friends gathered for a tea party on rooftops, or at best, wine and cheese events hosted by the hoi polloi of the old world order, people by wizened up chignon and pearl clad aunties and cravat wearing, doddering uncles, tut tutting over and swooning over the verse that came as music to their ears. The other set consists of ecstasy driven, high on dope and Ginsberg, callow youth of India today in their crumpled t shirts and jeans, and the girls in hot tops at Bandra terraces reciting their post structuralist, obscurantist hogwash. But that is fast becoming a vanishing breed. In major bookstores across the country, I have noticed that there are no poems or book of poems by eminent contemporary Indian writers anymore. At best, you find the translations of the work of noted Hindi film lyricists like Gulzar or Javed Akhtar, or maybe a Tagore in some corner of the bookstore. I am told that this is not only in India but a worldwide phenomena at large. Hence, poetry has been replaced with hard rock, Metallica, at best subscribed by a marginalized lot. I still remember the days of youth, in my salad days of youth, when at college festivals we used to wait for opportunity for the poetry recital session where we could catch a captive audience still engaged in poetry. When I was in college, at that point of time, I met a young man at a typist school where I had gone to get my work typed. For the uninitiated. There were no PCs then, and typing was the only other option left. There I met this young fellow, a person of my age, who had also come with his sheaf of poems to get them typed. We instantly struck up a friendship which thankfully lasts even till today. But we no longer share our poems with each other. We keep them hidden in folders on our laptops, which are meant to be at best personal exercises in indulgences only in states of inebriation with each other, tut tutting about the greatness of poetry. But the same cannot be said of poetry written in the vernacular languages in India. As a Bengali, I can assure you that there is a widespread audience for poetry, readership, and an audience at poetry recitals. Jivanananda Das, the poet who sold two books of verses in his lifetime, that too a few hundred books, is today one of the largest selling authors in world literature. The same can be said about Marathi and Malayali literature, Punjabi and Urdu literature, but no longer is applicable to English language poetry. I guess this stems from our devaluation of the onomatopoeic resonances of language. We choose not to get drunk on words of others anymore. Yet I can safely say that the same cannot be applied to people in the regional languages. Poetry still remains the most original and primal form of expression, with its intimate and truthful vehicle of communicating emotions and then finding abstractions through poetry, sublime joy or angst or eternal angst through verse. Sometimes I doubt whether it's the machinations of the mainstream which forces poetry to become marginal. Printing costs money, so the publishers shove figures down your face, much like the heads of channels thrusting TRPs down the throats of video producers and the sultans of box office shoving weekend collections on your face to guide that this is right and that is not. That way, art becomes a marginalized activity. It's more of playing on to the market forces, and hence, poetry beats a hasty retreat in the quieter climes of vernacular literature. The day which comes when vernacular literature also becomes a dinosaur will be a thing of much trepidation to us oldies, I guess. Please write your comments and tell us what you think about the same. In the meantime, I shall end this with a recitation of one of my own verses, something that was published last year and gained critical acclaim. So let me end this session by reading out a poem, Haven't We Spoken Enough? I choose my passion grey, for the definition of life to me was created by the fear of absolutes. I am just letting the day flow as it goes. No longer will I pelt a stone into the pond, knowing that the ripples will soon settle down. We have stopped living by the sea to plume the depths of mystery, seeking the evanescent allegory of a man walking on waves. The great swan chose to separate milk from water with its mystic beak. That tricky balance evades us all. I can either gulp it as a whole or let it remain in the crucible with perpetual hope of choices. I can never forgive myself for forgetting promises made, of never looking beyond today, ready to blur the truth and look away, as it does not hurt anyone anymore. Frailties allow vapid indulgences, spoiled by too many emotions spent. Inanity is relentlessly repeating itself. Lost spirits are we in blind chase. We are we were to harvest lucid dreams, instead we carry the burden of wounds, of vacant lives we mistake as a lie. Darkness enveloping us absolute. I have to rid myself of verbiage, sincerely need to spare a thought, open my inner eyes and no more speak. Rip off my mask and look within to perceive the fleeting beauty of the blossoming of rose at dawn. That will be all. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your attention and look forward to your comments which you'll post below. Thank you and have a good day.